Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing well. So here is the second part of the Instagram live Katie Joy actually did, where she calls 7M accounts, accuses them of human trafficking, calls B Dash a deadbeat dad, and goes on and on about what a terrible dad B Dash is. Also accuses Robert Shin of abandoning his kids and committing immigration fraud. So I apologize about this video being out so late. I tried to get it out as soon as I could, but unfortunately life happens. So also one more thing, Max is right next to me here making this video. You will hear him snoring. I humbly apologize about that. But before we get into this video, my usual disclaimer, please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. And as per usual, everything in this video is my opinion. So enjoy you guys, and without further ado, here we go.
Using people who are vulnerable, who are immigrants, and then using that over their head. No. Chloe needed a green card. You wanted Chloe to be the next big thing, and it didn't work. You wanted Daniel to be the next thing. It didn't work. Now it's Isaiah. Do Chloe and Daniel need to be reported to immigration for falsifying their marriage records?
First of all, which parent doesn't want their kid to be successful? Katie Joy, in my opinion, you're the only parent that I have come across that has no faith in her own son. Do me a favor, Katie Joy, educate yourself on immigration, or better still, research your story properly before you make such bold accusations.
You know, it's also a crime to orchestrate these types of marriages, Robert. I truly don't feel like the people that were forced into these situations should be penalized. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think the person that got the green card or even the person that was forced to marry them should be held responsible. I feel like the person that's forcing it should be the one that's held responsible.
Just shut up, Katie Joy. That's not how it works. You don't have a choice when wanting to report people to immigration. You idiots, once again, do your due diligence and fully research the story. Get the facts. Stop defaming people off of hearsay.
And why is it on the day that you knew Kelly and Dean were going to be in town, did you suddenly and abruptly send Miranda and James off on like some event? We know you create fake accounts. We have proof. We have hundreds of emails. We have videos. We have audio.
I sure hope you do, Katie Joy. But how are those videos going to help you get out of saying these people are human trafficking?
You're not going to sue anyone. If you sue me, everything comes out. And that's not a threat. That's just literally the truth. And you don't want that. Because the people that I'm talking to aren't lying. The court records aren't lying. And this isn't North Korea. I've been struggling with this part of it so hard, you guys. And I just want to be honest. The victims I speak to are Korean, and some of them are immigrants. And for a lot of them, it reminds them of home and how North Korea treats their people. And they've said that it's like he's emulating Kim Jong-un.
Katie Joy, if honesty hit you in the face, you would accuse the word of stalking you, harassing you, and doxing you. So just stop.
He's taken what Kim Jong-un does and he's applied it to this. And I'm not going back to that. You have people that have come from really difficult backgrounds and know the oppressiveness of Korea. And you're like replicating that here for them through the same fear tactics. And you know that they're scared of that. You know that these immigrants from Korea are scared of that.
I don't know. I just get the feeling that she's making all this up. It's just my feelings.
That's like, I've learned a lot about Korea in the last few weeks. I'll say that. These people are strong. Tell everyone how you bought your Bentley, Robert. Show everyone where you got the money for your Bentley. I'll wait. We know where it came from. I don't know why Shirley, as a lawyer, you would want to be involved in this. You're going to lose your license. You're going to get barred for this.
Learned a lot about North Korea in a week or the past few weeks. Yeah, right, Katie Joy. If you feel that what you have to say to make you come across as credible, okay then, do you, boo. You know shit about immigrants. You barely put your toes out the door. If you are waiting for Robert Shin's response to how he bought his Bentley, listen to this. People are still waiting to find out from you what you did with the money from the fundraiser you did for the Ronald McDonald House. And the same question you have for Shirley, I have a similar question for you. As a mother, why would you take away from your son? Meaning all this money you are throwing away for attorney's fees, couldn't it be used as a source or something towards his future for him? But anyway, moving on.
Why you would risk your livelihood and your life and your profession for this man makes me so confused. You know what's really sad for Lydia? All of the evidence was against Catherine. And you know what Catherine did in the middle of the lawsuit, like a coward? She filed for bankruptcy because she knew if she filed for bankruptcy, the lawsuit would go nowhere. All the evidence was so overwhelming against Catherine. Even the judge said that. But because she was no longer a defendant, because of the bankruptcy, there was nothing the court could do. She could testify, but they couldn't make a judgment because she wasn't the defendant. So you make her file for bankruptcy right before it goes to trial. The judge said there was a preponderance of evidence against Catherine. It was damning. They did win the lawsuit. It was on a technicality. Catherine was out because of the bankruptcy. And the First Amendment.
Damn, the First Amendment. Just a thought. I wonder if bankruptcy is on the table for Katie Joy. If the lawsuit goes to trial, maybe she is thinking about bankruptcy. I would. But then again, I wouldn't be this stupid to put myself in this position she is in now. But that's just me.
The judge did not want to intervene on church affairs. Miss Yee, I thought she made a good appearance, but the weight of the evidence certainly was against her. And although there was some slight inconsistency with documentary evidence, which she testified to, I think the majority of the reason why the court would not necessarily believe her is the great weight of the evidence against her. That was a judge talking about Catherine Yee and why there was so much evidence against her.
Now I want you guys to pay very close attention to Katie Joy from here on out, because you must see how she tries to watch where Todd is, what Todd is doing. She seems very uneasy to have Todd around. Just an observation, which you guys can also observe.
You know what's weird is though, like, 4 church members have filed for bankruptcy. It's like he gets everyone else to do is like be his fall guy. The trial was in 2011 and then the tax claim was in 2012. And oh, are you really a successful businessman? In 2011, when Catherine filed for bankruptcy, you guys closed 4 of your businesses. You lost all of your money. You lost your cars, your assets. You didn't even have money to pay for the attorneys. You sent emails to members and asked them to pay for your lawyer's fees when she sued you. That's how broke you were.
KJ's short-term memory is very bad, pointing out how Robertson failed at opening businesses and he went broke. You know, at the end of the day, in my opinion, at least he tried, and unfortunately he failed. But he didn't fail to try. Also, now you see, Katie Joy, you have a business. You have a lot that you could lose. But you are moving by, or should I say, you are scraping it by the skin of your teeth. For lack of for better wording, your lawsuit with Tati should have opened your eyes. And didn't you also, during your lawsuit with Tati, try to open a GoFundMe or try to start a GoFundMe? Remember? But unfortunately, you had to shut it down. You tried it. And then, in regard to the Tati lawsuit, you settled the lawsuit. You didn't win, you settled. You folded. Let's be clear about that. So, out of pocket, how much did you lose? Rhetorical question. And here you are, once again, in the same position, because Katie Joy knows best.
He gave up his degree, his doctor's. When you can be a grifter and con people for money, would you rather be a good person? He doesn't let people go to the doctor. He believes he can heal them. So if any of these dancers have any sort of mental health issues or any medications that they need to sustain their lives, I would be afraid for them if I were their parent.
KJ can't seem to stay on track. He gave up his license. He gave it up. He didn't want to be a doctor anymore. Look who's talking about being a grifter. In my opinion, I think Katie Joy actually learned how to be a grifter from Mr. Duggar, the dad. And nothing wrong with that. You know, if that's what suits you, boo.
Oh, he's drinking non-alcoholic wine.
Grape juice.
It's grape juice, basically. He doesn't drink. He just drinks like non-alcoholic wine.
Okay, now I am dead serious about this. Can somebody please tell me where I can find or purchase non-alcoholic wine that Todd drinks? Because we have social gatherings. I don't drink, but I also want to feel included and have my little wine glass with a non-alcoholic beverage. It would be so nice.
No, his medical license wasn't revoked. He's not going to be able to get relicensed. So in the state of California, he surrendered his license voluntarily. And after 5 years, you can't reapply. He would have to do a lot of work. He has not been licensed for over 20 years. He has not had an active license since 1994. He's not practiced medicine since 1994. He doesn't believe in medicine. Would you want to go to a medical doctor that thinks like he can cure you of everything through prayer and healing?
I suggest someone double check KJ, because she, in my opinion, has a tendency of twisting laws.
No, his degree can't be revoked. They can't revoke a degree. He finished school. You can't call yourself a doctor. It's different. Like, he finished medical school. I already explained this in another live. He finished medical school, yes. But he cannot legally call himself a doctor and hold himself out as a medical doctor because he's not. It's false advertising, and it puts like a false sense of security in someone.
Look at you. You go, girl. You even know all the medical ethics and the verbiage of who can claim to be a doctor and who can't claim to be a doctor. Okay, you go, girl.
So there's laws in the state of California. It's like impersonating a police officer. Yes, he finished medical school. Yes, he has his MD, but he doesn't have a license to practice medicine anymore. He can't practice. He can't practice. He can't give medical advice. If he gives medical advice under the guise that he's a doctor, he's breaking the law. So if he is telling people to trust him because he's a doctor and that he gives medical advice to the members because he's a doctor, he's actually breaking the law. You can't do that.
Why does she have to complicate things? Is it a tactic for her? It's clear he gave up his license. He did not want to be a doctor anymore. Who even said that he was impersonating a doctor? And let's be honest, if you are in a family with a physician or a medical assistant or somebody in the medical field and you're feeling maybe a bit under the weather, obviously you're going to ask their advice, you know, what could be going on. And then obviously you're going to make the initiative and you're going to make an appointment to go see your physician to get the proper diagnosis. So Katie Joy has to be above all, be all.
He could be sued, yes.
But you are the one being sued.
But then he prevents people from going to get their own education. Doesn't let them watch TV. Doesn't let them go on the internet. They don't get to listen to music. They don't get to listen, they don't get to have a TV. Someone said, Slavic doesn't have a TV on his wall because they can't watch TV.
They are professional dancers, Katie Joy. Are you okay? Do you listen to yourself? Not everyone has their TVs mounted to the wall. What is wrong with you?
He tells them that they shouldn't watch TV because it has bad influences. He doesn't want them to have access to any outside influences. He doesn't want them to hear the truth about anything. So if you're wondering if they're seeing this, probably not. Will they ever see this? No. They'll hear about it from him. He'll lie about it.
What are you doing?
But they don't get to watch TV. What they read is highly monitored.
If you do listen to Katie Joy and live for her content, please, I'm begging you guys, make sure you take care of your mental health. Honestly, and that is sincere.
He says TV is secular. He says the news is secular. He's a huge conspiracy theorist. No, their phones are monitored. Their social media is monitored. Their emails are monitored. I mean, one of the members flat out told me that they hacked into her email and sent emails like her to people that she loved that were rude.
Katie Joy, in my opinion, okay, you getting information from a former member from years ago, applying her story to the present dancers or the present situation. This is what I'm taking away from that. Because what she's trying to sell to you guys sounds very familiar to the Lydia story.
And he doesn't want to have a lot of members because he can't control them, because really what he's doing is human trafficking. But he says he's not trafficking. Anytime you're coercing someone under the guise of power and influence and taking away their rights and free will, that's kind of what human trafficking is. Maybe you're from, I don't know, I think some of them are actually from North Korea. Someone said one of them is, I don't know if it's Hannah or is him, but they are using tactics that are from North Korea. That's coming directly from Korean immigrants. Slavic and the money he raised, they said, is probably not going to Ukraine. Don't expect $1 of that to go to Ukraine. They said they think that has Robert all over it.
Again, hearsay. She didn't even bother to ask Slavic or find out what happened to that GoFundMe.
Why is Miranda denying this? Because if she doesn't deny it, she'll probably get reamed out by Hannah, and she doesn't know she's in a cult. She's been given a script. Have you not watched her videos? She's literally reading from a script. She has a notebook she reads from. And then every time I post something, they delete something. I mean, like, if you're not trying to hide anything, why are you deleting everything?
My question to you exactly, Katie Joy. When you delete stuff, like a lot of this that you have already deleted in reference or in regard to 7M, how you defame them, how you accuse them of stuff, I would love to know, why are you always deleting shit?
None of them are going to know anything because they don't tell them anything. They don't get open lines of communication with their families. Like, what you and I think is normal is not normal for them. What is up is down for them. What's left is right. They don't know anything. They're like in an alternative universe. They don't have a PR person. They don't. Their PR person is Hannah or Shirley or Chloe. They're also extremely cheap and they don't want to spend money on things.
First of all, and this is alleged, okay? Isn't your attorney, Katie Joy, your PR person? Because I'm sure I've heard you say that before. And what is so wrong about being cheap? I'm cheap.
The story is everywhere. Like, I don't know. It's everywhere. It's on Daily Mail TV. It's on Rolling Stone. It's on The Sun. It's on... Every outlet has covered this. It's everywhere. I don't like that they're using Kendra and Tight Eyes as people of color to look and act stereotypically like all the horrible stereotypes of Black people. They're like making them act out. And then they're also using them as like the butt of jokes, which I think is deplorable. And then like acting like they did a skit yesterday where they're like, they have Aubrey acting like he's a thief.
Okay, now I'm a bit riled up and I'm gonna be straight. Katie Joy, shut the fuck up. You give a fuck about anybody else but yourself and your bank account, let alone about a Black person.
They aren't able to travel like by themselves. Miranda is never allowed to be alone, ever. She is monitored constantly. She has never spoken to her family without James there. All of the communication is initiated by James. I mean, that's what they told you in the live stream. They weren't lying. James is her minder. Someone sent me a message and said that I need to be sensitive to James because James is a victim and I don't have a right to defend his son. And I say, fuck that. I have the son's mom. I have Jaden's mom, who I talk to all the time, telling me that Jaden misses his dad, that James is a deadbeat dad, that James gave up everything to go and join another cult. You can be empathetic to him, but I'm not going to excuse a man from abandoning a child just because he's a victim of a cult. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry for shit. You and that mother should be ashamed of yourselves. I actually did a commentary video about this prior, and I'll try and link that down below. Because Katie Joy, you don't even fit into this. This ex-wife of B Dash, she's just as much a coward as you are, Katie Joy. Because what mother would stoop to your level, Katie Joy, for you to be her mouthpiece? That is the father of her child. She should be putting her feelings aside. If she truly feels that he is well taken care of by his stepdad, it shouldn't be a problem. Let everything unfold the way it should be. Why is she going out of her way to make sure that B Dash, the father of her child, is exposed, exploited, found out for what she feels he is doing wrong? Why must the world know that?
You're a grown-ass adult. His son is 10 years old. I have a 9-year-old. I would never put myself in a situation like that. I would never put myself in a situation again where I'm again following a man who is being abusive, who has a history of sexual harassment, just like his previous leader. And it's not nuanced because he's black. It's literally just the facts. It's not racist for Angie, Jaden's mom, to stand up for her son and say, my son deserves better than this.
You put yourself in the situation, KJ. Which is worse? The kids are still being affected. Easy to judge, right? KJ, sweep your own doorstep.
Jaden doesn't have a father, and while James is driving around in a Tesla, I think he's getting $500 a month in child support. So Robert said that they're paying more to the IRS than I make, which I think is hilarious because how does he know it's in my bank account? But you're making all that money and James can drive a Tesla and your child's getting $500 a month. You're stealing from Jaden. If you can afford a Tesla, which is like a $90,000 car, right? And Jaden gets $500 a month from you, Jaden deserves better than that.
You making all this money and your kid gets a patio and gets 4 dinosaurs. Keep going, Katie Joy, because you make all this money to pay an attorney every, what did you say, second week? Make that make sense.
It doesn't matter if the Tesla was gifted to him. If the Tesla was gifted to him, it came from that money.
You need to make up your mind.
You're missing the point. If it was gifted to him by the church, it doesn't matter. If it was gifted to him, a gift is still taxable. If you have a car, James, why aren't you going to see your son? You can drive to see your son, but you don't. You're missing out on Jaden's basketball games. You're missing out on all of his, like, everything he does at school, all of his events, all of his recitals, all of his conferences. You wanted to be better than what you had, and yet you promised Angie that you weren't going to let Jaden down, and that's what you've done.
Not your place, Katie Joy. Not your place.
And you're following a man who abandoned his kids. The money that you paid for your Tesla should have gone to your son. While you're gallivanting around and drinking your shitty ass coffee and making your stupid videos, you are so lucky that Angela is a smart ass woman and a good mother, and that you are so lucky that Jaden has a stepfather that cares about him, and that Jaden's stepfather has stepped into his life in a way that you never would.
I could say the same about you and your situation, Katie.
And if you're Miranda, heart to heart, woman to woman, if he did it to Angela, he's gonna do it to you.
Heart to heart, woman to woman. Katie Joy, you gotta have a heart, sweetheart.
You're 9 years difference in age. He's 30, what? James went after you for a reason, Miranda, and it wasn't because you were pretty. It's because no woman his age would put up with his shit. And what about you, Kendra? Why are you pretending to be married to a man who is already married to his first wife? Why are you pretending to be married to a man who abandoned his 4-year-old son? Why are you pretending to have a blissful relationship with a man who cheated relentlessly on his first wife, on his second wife, and I'm sure as hell confident he's gonna cheat on you.
This woman, and you guys, I'm gonna say this again. Katie Joy is a joke. Let anybody say these things about her and she will go fucking ballistic. These are beautiful young ladies, allegedly victims that she's attacking. What's wrong with that picture?
These men are victims, but they sought this group out for a reason. They wanted money. Miranda has zero chemistry with B-Dash. Miranda has more chemistry with Slavic. The real couple, if I'm being honest, should be Slavic and Miranda. Those two actually look like they like each other. Don't cheat on your wife. Don't abandon your kids.
And this is a woman talking whose husband, in my opinion, is searching for attention, and she couldn't care two hoots. She seems annoyed that he is actually in a vicinity around her. Just an observation.
There's James's wife right there. Hi, Angela. Ex-wife. There's Jaden's mom is in here. Jaden's mom is here. I'm not going to share a photo of Jaden, but Jaden is definitely not white. He looks just like James. Why would it matter if she was with Slavic or James? The point is, she's with a man that she's not in love with, and James and Miranda's marriage was more than likely forced, because that's what he does. He does. He looks just like James. And Jaden is so lucky to have you, Angela. Like, if Angela was being smart, she would, like, literally sue for child support right now, which would open up all of the books, Robert. Wouldn't that be, like, the worst thing if, like, a child support case brought the whole cult down? Could you imagine? That's an awesome idea, right? Do an audit of bank accounts for child support. He will file for bankruptcy. Well, that's the opposite of prosperity that Robert teaches.
Katie Joy, if Angela was a smart woman would never do what Angela did with you. Confided in you, given you all the dirty details about what went down between her and B-Dash. Think about it, Katie Joy. Or anybody else. Exposing the father of a child. And in my opinion, it's all for revenge. And why? Because the way you said it, she has this fantastic fiance that's good to her child, B-Dash's son. So why would she bother? She's getting child support, so it may not be enough, I get that. But you know what? Go through the court system. So is she feeling a certain kind of way because B-Dash is married to this beautiful, gorgeous, attractive young lady?
So you have B-Dash, who's a victim, but he's also a father who abandoned his son, and he has a car, and he's like, I mean, you guys, come on. Imagine you're 10, it's your birthday, it's August 21st, and all you want is your dad to call you. Literally, the only thing that you want for your birthday is your dad to call you. And you think it would be so cool if your dad would, like, send you a message online, post something to you. And then you go check your dad's social media thinking maybe my dad sent me a message. And instead your dad posted his engagement video to a woman you barely know. And you had no clue that he was planning to get married to this woman. He didn't tell you. He didn't wish you a happy birthday. He posted the engagement video on your 10th birthday.
She is judging B-Dash, accusing him of abandoning his son. Do I need to put the clips out of KJ being mean, disrespectful, annoyed, and just irritated by her own child? Imagine when her son grows up and comes across this video where she, without hesitation, said that he is capable of murder.
when you read emails that he does, he is intelligent.
But that doesn't, you can be intelligent and autistic.
Yeah, no, autistic, absolutely. No, not the same, no.
But he's not developmentally slow in any means, no.
But autism is considered a developmental disability.
It's considered a neurological disability.
No, it affects all aspects of development. My son is autistic, so
okay. Do you believe that your son could be manipulated into murdering somebody?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
Why? And how? And where is your son at on the spectrum?
He's high functioning.
He's high functioning. Why do you think that could happen?
Because they're vulnerable.
Because you're actually the first one that we've talked to that has said that.
I think anyone that has autism can be manipulated because they're vulnerable.
I rest my case.
And he just acts like it's no big deal. Like it's not a thing. And then your son sees this in the news right now. And he sees all the attention you're getting, and he sees you going to the Super Bowl, and he sees you like in commercials, and he has a breakdown with his mom, and he says, I wish my dad cared more about me than he cared about money and fame.
Katie Joy, did you yourself for 1 second think how that kid, B-Dash's son, would feel if and when he sees your video, you speaking so ill about his dad? How do you think that kid would feel? Did you ever think about that?
So your 10-year-old watching you from the background just wants his dad, and all you want is money. And you know what the Bible says? Money is the root of all evil. Even every child wants their parents. Angela says, I let him on social media because he wanted to keep up with his dad's videos. It's very monitored. Exactly, Angela. Thank you. If the only way that your child gets to see their dad is through social media.
This woman has no manners. Absolutely no manners. She doesn't know how to cover her mouth fully until she's done yawning. But that's just Katie Joy. She's just so fucking uncouth. It's unbelievable.
So let's not victim shame here. Alexandra was a dancer for Janet Jackson. And I'm like, I feel really sad that her life has come to this because she didn't need 7M. She is so talented. This is a woman that didn't need 7M. And you know what makes me really sad is this is her new video right now with Miranda, and it's so irritating to me because it's like she was in a Janet video and now she's dancing to a Janet song sitting in a chair directed by Isaiah Shin. Like, you literally were on tour with Janet for years.
Who believes this fake bullshit? What person gets irritated by someone dancing to a song? To my knowledge, when you are a backup dancer for a certain major singer or star, whatever you want to say, you're not there forever. They change things up. So for her to say she's so disappointed in Alex, it's like, get the fuck out of here, Katie Joy. You got nothing else to go off of. Just shut up. That's all you got to do. Just shut up. It's like these are young, beautiful girls that are trying to improve on their life. And yeah, you are dragging them down. What the hell is wrong with you? Well, guys, there you have it. That is part 2 of her Instagram live that she did, where she felt so confident about herself, exposing 7M or Robert Shin and Shirley and all Catherine and all these people. And let me know what you guys think. I do have another live of hers where she did the same thing with the Shins, which is now deleted. If you want to see that, let me know. But I do have other content coming out. Thank you guys so much for everything, for your time. I truly appreciate it. Please be safe out there. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Be kind to one another and don't forget, make good memories. Bye guys.